So we have this for our income statement. So basically creating the balance sheet should be very straightforward from here, right? Good. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to close this guy and then we're just going to create a balance sheet. First, we'll duplicate this guy. So I'll come here, click this, duplicate, call this balance sheet. And then I'll modify this to only read balance sheet. I'll click save. Good. So this is going to be for only balance sheet. Good. And the GL as well, I'm also going to make a copy of that just for balance sheet. So duplicate the GL. And then we're going to also make our balance sheet GL. I'm going to click save. I'm going to change this to balance sheet GL. Good. Let's save this for now. Great. So now we've created our GL for balance sheet. So the next thing we're going to do is come to main. And then realize we had a related income statement, GL, or related income statement line. Good. That helped us to do the calculations for the amount income statement, total amount income statement. I'm going to do the same thing. Copy this guy, click save, right? And then we're going to create a virtual column that says related balance sheet GL. I'll paste it here, and then I'm going to change this to balance sheet GL. Good. Save. Done. Now, once I've done this, I can now copy the formula for the income statement amount and then the total amount for income statement, and then just modify the where they're getting their answers or where they're getting the amounts from, the slides are getting the amounts from, their reference. So I'll come here, copy this, Control C, click save, and then come here and say amount BS. BS for balance sheets, not the other one. Okay, so I'm going to change this to related balance sheet GL. I'm going to change this to related balance sheet GL. Save. Done. Okay, so we've created the amount balance sheet, right? But we can't just do the same thing for the total amount balance sheet, right? Because for the total, in the income statement, we have total revenue, total gross profit, and then profit, right? Which is a bit different from what we have in the balance sheet, where we have fixed assets, total assets, and so on and so forth. So we need to also understand that dynamics and see how the accounts relate to each other in terms of totals. So we'll come back here, and then we're going to add the lines for our balance sheet. So how we did for the other one, just add some rules above here. Come here, just do the copying. So I'm going to copy this guy. Let's copy these two. Okay, come here and paste this here. I'm going to cut this guy and bring him here. Right, good. And then I'm going to copy this guy and I'll paste him here. Okay, so that's the first one. Now, like we did for the other one, we said it's going to be this minus 1 for now. And let's just copy it down. Is that okay? Good. So for equity, it's going to be 7,999. Okay, so this is going to be total, fixed asset, total, whatnot. So we need to come up with a tilde. So this total, fixed assets, total current assets, total current liability, total non-current liability, total equity. Okay, and then we're going to have two main, that's total assets plus total equity plus liability. Okay, so we're going to have total assets, we're going to have total equity and liabilities, something like this. Now, total assets is going to come right before, or right before total current liabilities. So it's going to take up this guy's position. We're going to bring this guy here. Okay. And then I'm going to make this 8. Good. And then this guy is just going to be at the end. It can even be 8,000, but then let's just stick to the norm. Make this 8. Good. So we have something like this. All right. So this is that, this is that. This is going to be an asset. So I'm going to copy this. No, let's copy and paste this here. And then total equity is going to be in the equity side. This is debit. And this is credit. It'll be easier if I just share this with you. I'll probably just share this information so that it makes it easy. You don't need to do all this copying and pasting and whatnot. All right, so we have this in place. Make sure that I take out all the formulas. So Control C, Control Shift B. Good. Let's see how it looks like in our app. So I'm going to create a view, which is going to be the balance sheet view. This is going to come from where's balance sheet? Yeah, balance sheet. Good. Okay, let's save this. Okay, make this way. So these are the only balance sheet lines we have. Is that so? Okay, let's look at this again. Statement is equal to balance sheet because of this. Or amount is greater than 0. Okay, so I think I know the problem. Okay, I think I know the problem. So the problem is this is not supposed to be IS, it's supposed to be BS. We created a balance sheet amount, right? So that's what we're supposed to use. We're going to click save. Good. And then we have our totals now showing. Fantastic. Okay, so what we're going to do is now we need to clean this up, all right? So come to the view, come to manual, and then we're just going to leave the name, and I'm going to take everything out except PS amount. Good. And then we need to group by. So group by the class of accounts. We have fixed account, we have current account, and then we have current liabilities, non-current liabilities, and then we have share capital equity. Okay, good. Let's sort this. So we're going to also sort this by account code main. Okay. Okay, so fixed account has a total, current account, total assets, current liabilities. So fantastic. So right now we have a balance sheet looking in the format we wanted. Okay, we've calculated our amounts, that's the total amount. Now what we need to do is to calculate for the totals, right? So this is just the amount for each line, but we need to calculate for the total. So the blue and the green. Good. So now we know that this is a bit different for the income statement in terms of how they relate. Okay, so let's come here. Okay, and then let's come to main. Right, and we're going to come to total. We're going to copy this and save. Good. And then we'll click on the plus. I'm going to say total amount, yes, balance sheet, and then we're going to paste this over here. Good. Now we know that we always want to make sure that those that do not have the tilde on the arrow are blank. So that's a starter, that's fine, good. Now, if your account has a tilde, which is a sub account, we want you to go, instead of the income statement GL, we want you to go to the balance sheet GL. Okay, so every time we see income statement GL, we're basically going to change it to balance sheet GL. Yeah. So you see, good. So I'm going to copy this guy, and it's going to come in handy. So go to the balance sheet GL amount and sum all this. Good. Now, if the name is total income, this time around, I'm not going to say if the name is total income. I'm going to say if the name is equal to total, we have total assets. The name is equal to total assets. What I want you to do is go to balance sheet GL, okay, and then look for, so we have only two of the total assets and total liability. Look for 3 million and 4 million. So 3 million and 4 million, right? Sum those two guys up. No, where am I? You're here. Sorry. 3 million and 4 million. Sum those two guys up. That will give us a total assets. Good. If not, so that will be total equity and liability. So I can clear all these guys who are here. Like this. Okay. So if not, I want you to go to balance sheet, GL. Okay. And this time around, I have to be very careful what I'm deleting. This time around, I'm taking out the minus. Okay, we are summing everything that is value. So we're summing current liabilities 3, 5, 6, and 7, right? So I want you to sum 5, 6, I'm gonna copy this guy, and 7, like this. Okay, take out this. Great. So we have total assets, and then that's that. Save this. Click done. Okay, so this should give us our total. Now let's come here and let's add it. So add total balance sheet. So it should look something like this. Fantastic. Okay. So you have this. Fixed asset is 0. Current assets is giving you this. So total assets is giving 4464, which is completely wrong, right? We'll find out why. This is current liabilities. Okay. This is 0. That's fine. This is this. This is that. So this plus this. Hold on. Interestingly, it's summing up. So this plus this is giving us, I should think it should give you 446467. I don't think this guy is right. Okay, this guy is right, but this guy is not right. So total assets isn't right. So let's investigate what we did wrong with total assets. It shouldn't be text, it should be a number. Okay, so we said total assets, balance sheet amount, sum this and that. Okay. Interesting.
One eternity later.
All right, guys, so I finally found what the problem was. So in the formula over here, it says total assets, right? But in the spreadsheet, we are saying total assets. So because total assets is not the same as total assets, it's giving me the value that it gives for the total equity. Right. So I'm going to click save. Save this. So now finally, we have what looks right over here. So this sums up to this, which is good. And then this is not balancing, good. So now we can tell that at least our totals are making sense over here. Now what we're going to do is make sure our formatting looks right. So I'll come over here. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my grand total and then my subtotals. Make sure that these lines have get calculated with amount BS and amount total BS is selected. Yeah, okay, and then I'll do the same thing for subtotals as well. So hold down Command or Control, amount BS, total BS, selected. Good. And now we have this. So we have our income statement and we have our balance sheet. Okay, good. Now, obviously, our balance sheet is not right because it's not balanced, and the whole point of a balance sheet is for it to balance, right? Good. And that's because of a few things. Number one, a balance sheet should not have a filter on the start date. You get it? Because a balance sheet is cumulative. Okay, you don't just cut off some aspect of it. You need to only filter to a certain point. So balance sheet as at a certain date. We don't take balance sheet within a period. It's as at a certain date. So we're going to come back to our filter, and then we're just going to make that small adjustment over here. So over here, we're going to take off the start date bits, right? And leave it only everything that's less than the end date. And you click save. Click save here. Good. Okay, so now the difference between the total assets and the total equity, right, should be our profits, okay, which is what shows in the income statement. So currently, our income statement showing 11171,988, which I don't think is the same thing. But to get a fair view, we're going to select the full year. Okay, currently our GLs are filtered, right? So when we come to GL statement, remember we did this where we are filtering the start date and the end date. So let's clear this. Let's select the beginning of the year, January, okay, and select the end of the year, December, like this. Okay, this sinks in. And let's come here and let's look at our statement. So balance sheet at the end of the year, because I have transactions all the way to the end, we have an income statement of, we have a total asset of 909,016. And then we have equity of 662,110, right? If it's less than 2, the difference, I have a calculator here, that gives me 246,906, which should be the same as our income statement if we check. 246,906. You get it? So this profit is what's supposed to flow in and come into our balance sheet as retained earnings in equity. And this will increase this value to what we have over here, and that will balance it. So in our next video, we're going to look at how we can do that. We're going to use scripts to help us to move our income at the end of each year to our balance sheet so that our balance sheet always balances whilst our income statement resets. So guys, thank you for joining me for this session of our series, and I hope to see you in the next one.